Hey Sharon, how are you? Hey Karen, Becky, Leslie, Kathy, good to see you guys. Hello Margaret from Porter, Texas. Hey there, Karen Boswell, Connie, Keith, how are you? All right, we'll wait just not a couple of minutes, we'll wait a minute or so. See if more people can come on. I know it's a busy time with July 4th being tomorrow. A lot of people are probably cut out early for a little holiday fun. But I appreciate you guys being here tonight. All right, we've got about 42 people on right now, so I'll get started. I don't want to keep you guys too long tonight. I know you guys probably are wanting to get a kick on your holiday. So we'll get started here. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Tammy Ledford and the others who expressed interest in hearing more about our experience at the Microbiome Congress at the end of May. For those of you who may be new to the group, just to give you a little history, Rick and I were invited at the end of May to travel to Boston for the Skin Microbiome Congress, which is a national conference, an international conference rather, that happens annually. This is the first time it was in the U.S., and it certainly is growing in momentum. But it was basically, comprised of different people from all industries, from the medical industry, cosmetic industry, research industry, and with one key focus, and that is to understand and promote the health of the microbiome, and really have, help educate, the importance of the microbiome, but also how we take care of it, how we diagnose problems, things like that. So, it was 2 complete days filled with over 30 seminars that went morning well into the evening. So there was a lot of information together there. And I'm not going to share all of it with you. A lot of it was things that you really probably wouldn't be interested in. I was barely interested in all of it. But, a lot of it had to do with regulatory issues. The FDA was there. Had 3 different seminars from the FDA about regulations, labeling laws, things like that. Just good refreshers for all of us in the cosmetic industry, but more importantly, new regulations and new laws that have to do with how we communicate things related to probiotics, prebiotics, the microbiome, all of that. But there were so many seminars that were given regarding the microbiome to really give us a deeper understanding of what it is, how it's affected, and how it's changing the way that cosmetic formulations are manufactured and created. So I really just want to kind of go through, I compiled these notes, put all these different speakers' notes kind of together into a format that would be easily understood. Just kind of walk through some of the things that I learned. A lot of it I'm probably more excited about than anything else, but I did want to share it with all of you because I do find a lot of it fascinating. I think the more we understand about, our strategic direction, our uniqueness in the marketplace, the importance of what we're doing in the marketplace, the better I think the more understanding it gives us as we, try to convey that message to our consumers, and of course, as we bring new people into the business. So I'll just get started. I broke it down into 3 categories. Basically, what is the microbiome? What happens as the microbiome is compromised, and what causes compromises to the microbiome? And then I went through and really, took away some consumer behavior, because I think I want to close with that, because I think you'll see as we round all of it together the importance of what we're doing, and who we have potential to really reach with our positioning. So what is the microbiome? You know, we've talked about it over and over. We've got a lot of videos out there. Simply said, the microbiome is this vast ecosystem of microbes, good microbes and bad microbes that live on our skin and in our body. Now, the key to keeping all of that in check, the good microbes have to be stronger than the bad microbes to keep it in check. And when the good outweighs the bad and everything's in balance, then, you know, we really have no skin issues, no health issues. It's when that balance becomes compromised that things really start to go on. The microbiome has been called the body's second brain because absolutely every function that has to do with the body is influenced by the microbiome. Hormone production, our moods, of course, digestion, skin health, the way we age. So the microbiome is a key influencer in every aspect of our body. In fact, I found this statistic to be pretty staggering. We are more bacteria than we are human. In fact, only 43% of our cells of our body are human. The rest are bacterial. So taking care of the bacteria that lives on our skin, it's imperative to ensuring our health. So prior to birth, you know, we lived in a perfectly sterile environment, which is great when we're in the womb. However, the minute we emerge into the world, you know, we have to have a defense system because the world is not a clean place. And, you know, thanks to the miracle of nature, as we pass through the birth canal, we actually assume our mother's microbiome. And what this does is it gives us a temporary microbiome, which keeps us defended on the outside. Now, as we breastfeed and we take in our mother's microbiome, which gives us a temporary internal microbiome. Now, the reason I say temporary is because we develop our own microbial identity through the first year of our life. And that, you know, during that first year, you know, these different microbial communities develop and they keep us protected. Now, each person's microbiome or their microbial identity is like a fingerprint. It's unique to them, and it's different on every part of their body. Now, the microbiome is constantly evolving, and that has to do a lot with internal influences and external influences. When I say internal influences, that's things like genetic predisposition, hormones, age. External influences would include diet, environment, lifestyle, and even pets. I thought it was interesting that people who have pets actually have a more diverse microbiome than those who don't. I found that really fascinating. So a healthy, diverse microbiome actually functions to keep our body in a state of balance or homeostasis and protect us from pathogens. It also strengthens our skin barrier, which we know, you know, helps prevent dehydration, which keeps moisture in our skin, which, you know, prevents aging that way. But it also protects us from UV exposure, from pollution, from oxidation, and from inflammation. And we know that inflammation is one of the key causes of disease and the visible signs of aging. So by being able to reduce the inflammation in our bodies, you know, that's a key, that in itself is a key to anti-aging or health. But over the years, there's been a significant decrease in our microbial diversity or the health of our microbiome for those of us who live in a Western culture. In fact, there has been a 500% increase in skin disorders, or skin health issues such as acne, rosacea, psoriasis, to name a few, since 1946. So that's a huge increase. And so that says something's changed pretty dramatically, you know, since 1946 that would cause us to have such an increase in skin issues. So there were studies that have been conducted that were using people from indigenous cultures that weren't exposed to Western civilization or Western lifestyle, meaning they had different diets. They certainly didn't over cleanse, over wash, over scrub. They didn't use personal care products. But what they found is that the microbiome, or the microbial diversity for these people in those indigenous cultures, was extremely different from those of us in a Western culture with a Western lifestyle. In fact, in studying these people, it's found that these indigenous cultures had approximately 60,000 unique bacterial species that lived on their skin, compared to 40,000 unique species that live on the skin of us who have a Western lifestyle. Now, another thing I think is very interesting is they also measured the microbial diversity of people who had skin issues like acne, eczema, rosacea, and it's found that they, on average, have 8,000 unique species. So there is a direct relationship between the microbial diversity, the health of the microbiome, and skin disorders such as acne, rosacea, things that so many people that we come in contact experience on a daily basis. Now, while diets and medication and, of course, lifestyle are key contributors to the decline in this bacterial diversity, it's believed that personal care products, ones we use from the time that we're babies all the way through adults, and beauty products that are applied topically are one of the key contributors to this change in our microbial diversity. So the problem is that these synthetic chemicals, harsh preservatives, antibacterial ingredients, over cleansing, over stripping, over scrubbing, all contributes to the decline of those of us who live in a Western society, the decline of our health. There was an interesting story that we shared about twins, identical twins, who as children had exactly the same external influences. They had the same diet, they had the same lifestyle, they lived in exactly the same environment. However, as they became adults and their lifestyles changed, one of these identical twins developed horrific skin issues while the other one didn't. And so there was a doctor there who specializes in microbiome technology who took these twins and did a study and found that due to the products that the affected twin was using, her microbial diversity was completely different, which contributed to all these skin issues. And actually they did I thought this was fascinating, they actually did a microbiome transplant using the microbe from the unaffected twin, and over a period of weeks transferred this microbiome in a transplant form to the affected twin and solved all of her skin issues. Now, I thought that was pretty fascinating, but it says directly what the health of the microbiome has to do with the skin disorders. Now, out of all of the things that I heard, I think there's one thing that stuck in my mind, and I think about it every day, and it was an analogy that talks about what we've done to our microbiome and comparing it to a phenomenon that occurred at Yellowstone National Park. Now, I know that sounds like a stretch, but I'm sure many of you have heard about Yellowstone National Park and the wolf population and what it's done to the ecosystem. Yellowstone National Park, just like any environment, has its own ecosystem, and unless something is dramatically affected, that ecosystem pretty much remains intact and is able to work the way it's supposed to work. However, in 1930, there were a group of people who believed that the wolves, who are predators, should be exterminated out of Yellowstone because they were killing off the elk and so many other things. So in the mid-1930s, they actually exterminated all of the wolves out of Yellowstone. So of course, problem solved, right? The wolves were gone. Everybody else was allowed to live in peace. Well, that seems like utopia. I mean, it sounds like a wonderful environment. However, after 1930, some pretty dramatic changes started to happen in Yellowstone National Park. Primarily the elks, who the wolves were their main predator. The elks were allowed to run around free. They had no predator, they had no fear, and the elk population outgrew what Yellowstone could actually handle. And since the elk grew, there was no need for them to run and hide. They just kind of hung out by the river, wouldn't you? I mean, there's great food source down there. They can eat the saplings, they've got water. But because the elk population grew so monumentally and they were eating all of the sprouts in the food supply, Well, the vast colony of beaver who lived in Yellowstone became almost extinct. In fact, it was measured that there was only one colony of beaver that was left in Yellowstone by the 1990s. Now, because there's no beaver, they're not building dams, and that changes the whole aspect of the river, which is a food supply for the bears. So now the bears aren't getting the food supply that they need because there aren't any beavers to build the dams, because the elk population has grown so big. So, problem solved. In 1995, they actually reintroduced the wolves back into Yellowstone. And between 1995 and today, the ecosystem of Yellowstone has returned to normal. So that's a very great analogy to describe kind of what we've done to our skin over the years with the use of all these ingredients that we thought were doing great things. We were actually killing off very important aspects of our own bodies that were keeping us protected and helping us to not age. So it's kind of a catch-22 here. So the solution really to this problem that we were having with, all these ingredients that we're using that are compromising the microbiome is something that we're experiencing right now, which we really are on the forefront of, and that's creating a third wave of cosmetic development, which is really focused on increasing the microbial diversity in the skin and enhancing the skin's microbiome or the health of the microbiome. Now, I say third wave, and I'll just give you a quick history lesson as you look back over the historical development of cosmetics over the years. Really, wave one was started in the early 20th century, primarily around 1940, which oddly enough, it was in the 40s since the 40s that we've had a 500% increase in the onset of skin disorders. But, when cosmetics and personal care products became the norm, and became affordable for, everybody to be able to afford after World War II, it became a multi-billion-dollar industry. And the problem was we were using so many synthetic chemicals to mass produce these cosmetics, to keep the price down, that it became something everybody was using without understanding what it was doing to the health of our skin. But the research was based on sheer chemistry. It wasn't really based on health. Now, in the 90s, we kind of woke up a little bit, and that's when Wave 2 really started. And Wave 2 really brought on the introduction of more natural ingredients into skincare products. Putting natural ingredients, organic ingredients, the problem was we were still using those same synthetic chemicals that we had always used in skincare, but we were just adding in some natural and organic ingredients. While that made it better, it still didn't make it ideal as it relates to what we've been doing to our skin. So really what we're experiencing now is the third wave of cosmetic development, which enhances microbial diversity in the skin. And it's truly the use of natural or skin identical ingredients to maintain the health and balance of the skin. And it's really based on science, skin science and technology, not just chemistry. And the overall focus is long-term health and well-being. So you can see that Wave 3 of cosmetic development is something that's very different than we've experienced in the past as far as product development goes. Now, microbiome enhancing products have really only started to emerge in the market over the last 5 years. In fact, 5 years ago, you probably would never even have heard the word microbiome. You certainly weren't buying skincare products that had probiotic ingredients in them. But over the last several years, that has really increased, and consumer awareness has really increased. I think if you start to watch TV commercials, you're going to start hearing the word microbiome as it relates to everything: vitamin C products, skincare products, personal care products. In fact, in 2017, there were 9,000 articles that were published about the skin and the microbiome. So it's becoming, quite conversational for the average consumer. 4.2% of all new products that are introduced into the market contain probiotic ingredients. Now, these microbiome-focused products are really the next generation of skincare and cosmetic development. So understanding the role that the microbiome plays in skin health changes the ways that we look at everything that has to do with product development. How we treat acne, how we treat eczema, how we address skin aging, and how we make and how we use products. And I'll just go through each one of those key points, because I found there were some numbers that I found quite interesting that I think just, kind of brings it all into perspective as it relates to these different areas. Starting with acne. Acne is a $7 billion global market, and it's estimated that 85% of people will have acne. 50 million Americans have acne, and that's primarily teenagers. But currently, treatments for acne are only managing the symptoms. They're not addressing the problem at all. And current acne treatments have pretty severe side effects that continue to perpetuate the compromising of the microbiome. Bacterial resistance is on the rise, and with acne treatment, there's a 90% relapse rate. So what that tells us is we need to be addressing the way we treat acne very differently than we have been in the past. And it's believed that focusing on the health of the microbiome and microbiome-friendly formulas is the key to really getting acne under control. Oddly enough, there hasn't been a lot of new development in acne treatments over the past 10 years. Actually, past 30 years. Sorry, I misread that. Eczema. Eczema is very interesting. It's a $4 billion global market. It is estimated that 85% of individuals have mild to severe eczema. I thought that number was staggering. 15 million Americans have eczema, mostly children, and the problem is that most of these children carry that into adulthood. So while it may start as an issue as a child, it actually evolves into adulthood, which could have something to do with why we're seeing that more on the rise. 132 million people suffer from eczema globally, and 20% of children have eczema. Now, eczema, there is no cure. And like acne, today's treatments are really targeting the symptoms, not addressing the problem. And then we get to skin aging. Now, this is a pretty staggering number. The skin aging market is a $192 billion global market. There are 76 million baby boomers that are in the US. 60% of Gen X consumers use anti-aging products. And get ready for this number, because this one really surprised me. 50% of millennials are using anti-aging products. Now that is a pretty staggering number. They're using anti-aging products as prevention. So people are starting early in their 20s using anti-aging products to offset the signs of aging. Now we know that the things that microbiome-friendly formulas do for aging skin, it's improvement in skin barrier function. Which prevents us from losing hydration. It keeps the skin protected from UV exposure, from pollution, from oxidative damage. They also help to decrease inflammation in the skin, which is one of the key reasons that we have visible signs of aging. It balances oil production, it balances the pH, and it also helps stimulate new cell renewal. So microbiome-friendly formulas actually act as anti-aging ingredients. Now, understanding all of this, my last point is the way that we develop and the way that we use products. The new trend is simple formulas, less ingredients in each of the formulas, and multi-purpose active ingredients. So these natural ingredients that actually have multifunctional benefits, so you're getting more out of the formulas. Of course, formulas that are naturally derived or skin identical, and also importantly, fewer products per skincare regimen. People simply aren't and won't be using 12, 13, 14 products in the regimen like they have been in the past. One reason is because it's not the healthiest way to treat the skin. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is consumer behavior, because I know, we have something that appeals to not only the emerging market of today, but the market of tomorrow, which is going to make you very relevant into the future. Consumers today believe that natural means safe. And because of all the research that's being done behind all of these ingredients, that's actually a fact. Natural means safer formulas. Clean products, the definition of clean products means they contain ingredients that do no harm. Clean formulas will become the norm in cosmetic development. 53% of people believe clean to be natural. 41%, this is another good number, 41% of millennials are currently using probiotic skincare, and another 45% have stated that they want to try probiotic formulas. So today's average skincare consumer, this is a good one, today's average skincare consumer starts using products at the age of 26, compared to the average baby boomer who started using skincare and anti-aging products at the age of 47. Today, women 18 to 34 are the heaviest consumers and users of skincare products. So if I take all that information and kind of, just strip it all away and just look at what the key takeaways were, I think there's a lot that really applies to our business. First of all, the health of our microbiome determines the health of our skin and how well equipped it is to protect ourselves from damage and the visible signs of aging. Second point, formulating products to support the health of the microbiome is key to improving skin health, and it is the future of cosmetic development. Third point, microbiome preserving products are effective at treating a myriad of skin issues, from problematic skin disorders to the basic process of aging. Fourth, consumer of today and the emerging consumer of tomorrow demands products that are safe, natural, and support optimal skin health. And my last point is that young consumers, millennials, and the emerging consumers of tomorrow have what we want what we have to offer. They want natural formulas. They want products that are going to improve the long-term health of the skin and the body. And that's something that we can offer them with TrueAura, not only in the products, but also in our opportunity. So I think that, the biggest takeaway is that we have something that today's consumers find extremely, extremely relevant. And if we're marketing, our products only to a group of demographics that we think are interested in anti-aging, we're missing out on a whole big group of demographics who is currently buying these products, using these products from somebody else. So we have something that we definitely can market to them. So I say, if you're looking for, kind of the new blood in the business, go after these millennials, because they've got money to spend. They are concerned with the health of their skin, the health of their body. And of course, they don't know it yet, but we have a great and modern opportunity that would allow them to earn extra money, which I think is an amazing benefit. So that was pretty much all of my takeaways from the Microbiome Congress. It was certainly a benefit for me to be there, and not only being able to meet some of the key players in our industry, but also just the learnings that we had. So I'd love to open it up if you guys have any questions. Oh, thanks, you guys, for the great feedback. I appreciate that. I had several people who asked to post my notes. I will post them. Keep in mind their notes. So if you need help deciphering any of it, let me know. I'd certainly be glad to help you out. Oh, Connie Parker, this is great. Seems like what was so devastating a year ago this month is now a blessing in disguise, now that we're understanding the microbiome and harsh chemicals. I find all this information so fascinating. Thank you so much for leading the way. Thank you. That's great feedback. I appreciate that. Everything happens for a reason, and I think we're in the right place, and we're certainly on the forefront of the future of product development. And that is such a great place to be, rather than being behind the eight ball. So yeah, I agree. It's we're exactly where we need to be. Pam, what is the best way to educate on natural versus clean? Natural, I mean, there are a lot of things that are natural that aren't good for our skin. So just because things are derived from a natural source doesn't mean that they can do no harm. For instance, I'm trying to think of a good example. Retinol is probably a good example. It's a natural ingredient. It's a vitamin A derivative, great anti-aging ingredient. Really works, does a number on the skin. You know, it really increases skin inflammation. While it can erase the problems of of aging skin today, what it does tomorrow is not necessarily a great thing. So that would be a vague example of natural versus clean. There are a lot of natural extracts that, you know, in their natural form aren't healthy at all for the skin. So I think one thing that's important is clean means do no harm, means there's no negative effects whatsoever in a clean formula. And that's, you know, that's a good definition. Natural ingredients, you know, there are things in natural ingredients that aren't great for the overall health of our skin. Holly, Gary, how would you give us a number for the new makeup, healthy makeup, clean and safe makeup, microbiome friendly beauty? Give us a number for, I'm not sure exactly what we're looking for here. But yeah, the one thing that we will, when we do introduce our makeup products, starting at our conference at the end of the month, at the end of this month, you know, it really is targeted on healthy beauty. And it's something that, you know, like I've said before, it was very difficult finding a manufacturer who would formulate to our strict standards. And there are so few companies who are currently doing that, marketing products that are as healthy as what we have. So I can guarantee you the products that we have will be the healthiest that are out there, containing absolutely no negative ingredients whatsoever, no silicones, nothing to congest the skin, nothing to compromise the microbiome, and they'll work hand in hand with our skincare products. So it's something that, you know, and of course I'm working on all the positioning and things right now. We'll roll that out at the conference. I think you'll be very pleased. Healthy beauty. Yeah, I love that. And that's exactly what we're about is healthy beauty. All right. Can't wait. I can't wait either. It's been a long time coming. Not long comparative to what it used to be, where we took 18 months to develop everything. This is everything we've done in the last 6 months has been a crunch development. But what we've ended up with has been phenomenal. So I think that I think you're going to love what you see. If you're not registered for Empower, please do. Not only will we have a lot of fun, there'll be a lot of learning, a lot of sharing, a lot of new products that'll be coming out. Of course, it's always just amazing to be with all of you and for all of us to be together and learn from each other. Oh, April, thank you. I adore you too. All right. So I think that's about it. I will post my notes from this just so you guys can take a look at that. And if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. So I think that's it for tonight. I don't want to keep you guys too long. But I do want to say have a very happy, a very safe 4th of July. So it's a great opportunity to catch up with your family and just have a little downtime. So enjoy every minute of it. And I will catch you back here next week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central, and we'll have another great topic for you. So I'll see you then. Bye-bye.